What has truly unsettled Thai online communities is not a few trade figures or diplomatic compliments. It is the growing realization that Vietnam has entered a new strategic tier, while Thailand remains trapped in old cycles of political instability, coups, factional conflicts, and deeply rooted patronage networks. After Vietnam's 14th Party Congress, Thai media began monitoring Hanoi's every move with unprecedented intensity. This was not driven by curiosity, but by unease. Something unusual was happening. Vietnam was not making loud announcements. It was not showing off, yet major global power centers were actively approaching it. The United States invited Vietnam into international peace and security mechanisms. China accelerated high-level exchanges to maintain strategic balance. The European Union rushed to upgrade relations with Vietnam to the highest diplomatic level Hanoi offers. To Thai analysts, this was no longer routine diplomacy. It was strategic repositioning. As the global order fragments, major powers are searching for partners that are independent, stable, and not overly dependent on any single bloc. They need anchors that are reliable but flexible. And Vietnam emerged at precisely that moment as a rare balancing point. From this perspective, the EU's decision was not sentimental. It was strategic self-preservation. Europe now faces pressure from all sides. The United States is returning to hardline trade policies, prioritizing domestic interests even at allies' expense. Transatlantic relations have been strained by Ukraine, NATO disputes, and territorial rhetoric. China is using trade, technology, and supply chains as geopolitical tools. Russia's isolation has deprived Europe of a major energy pillar that cannot easily be replaced. Caught in this strategic squeeze, the EU must find partners outside its bloc that are stable, independent, and capable of long-term cooperation. And in the eyes of many Thai analysts, Vietnam fits all three criteria. Vietnam maintains consistent policies that do not fluctuate with election cycles or internal power struggles. More importantly, it sustains deep relations with the US, China, Russia, and the EU simultaneously, without being absorbed into any camp. In a fragmented world, this balance is priceless. Second is geostrategic location. Vietnam sits at the heart of Southeast Asia, adjacent to vital maritime routes of global trade. As supply chains fracture, Vietnam becomes a natural hub not only for goods, but also for capital, technology, and standards. Third is its capacity to integrate into strategic value chains. Europe does not need another low-cost factory. It needs access to strategic minerals, semiconductors, digital infrastructure, and green industries. Vietnam has strong potential in these sectors but lacks capital and advanced technology. Europe has exactly what Vietnam needs. Their interests converge. Rare earths and tungsten are not seen by Europe as mere commodities, but as geopolitical assets. China controls most of the world's rare earth refining capacity and has used it as leverage before. Europe understands that green transition, defense modernization, and high-tech development are impossible under near-total dependence on China. Vietnam has reserves, political stability, and long-term cooperation intent. Europe brings technology, investment, and standards. This is about building sustainable value chains, not short-term extraction. Semiconductors form the second pillar. The US-China rivalry has turned chips into the oil of the 21st century. Europe owns ASML, the world's most critical lithography company, yet remains vulnerable in manufacturing and assembly. Vietnam's growing role in chip packaging and testing, with Intel, Amkor, ASML, and its first chip plants, makes it a strategic safety buffer for Europe. The third pillar is 5G. 5G is not just telecommunications. It is the backbone of digital economies, digital defense, and modern governance. Europe's cooperation with Vietnam on 5G is not about market size. It is about shaping technology models based on openness, transparency, and security, countering concerns over data control linked to Chinese firms. Vietnam is seen as a soft but crucial frontline for setting standards. All these developments lead to a bitter conclusion among Thai netizens. Vietnam has entered the position of being chosen. It is no longer Vietnam chasing great powers. great powers are now compelled to approach Vietnam. This represents a transformation from a developing economy into a major geoeconomic and geopolitical actor. For Thailand, this creates deep psychological shock. In the past, some Thai voices mocked Vietnam. That tone has vanished. It has been replaced by anxiety, envy, and helplessness. Many openly admit that Thailand has been trapped in endless political quarrels while Vietnam quietly accelerated. The most painful comparison is institutional. They see Vietnam as politically stable, with a young population, a large workforce, competitive costs, and improving quality. A legal system that enforces rules. A state apparatus capable of making decisions and implementing them. Then they look at themselves. Thai online debates reveal deep disillusionment. Many point out that Thailand once hoped to become like Taiwan, Singapore, or South Korea through democracy, but instead fell into repeated coups. Some bitterly joke, even if Thailand became communist, it would still be trapped in patronage and corruption. They also recognize that Europe avoids Thailand not only for economic reasons, but for legal and political risks. The 2014 coup led the EU to suspend free trade talks and turn to Vietnam instead. While Thailand stagnated, Vietnam moved far ahead. Calls to fast-track land bridges and rail corridors reflect real fear. Thailand may lose even its geographic advantage. But many admit that infrastructure cannot save a chaotic political system. Trust is the core issue. Vietnam projects clarity, unity, and long-term focus. Thailand struggles to know whom or what to trust. Thus, the EU-Vietnam upgrade becomes a mirror forcing self-reflection. In today's world, resources are not unlimited. When the EU, US, Japan, Korea, and even China all view Vietnam as a manufacturing hub and strategic anchor, it means capital and technology will concentrate. Those who are stable and credible are chosen. Those who hesitate are sidelined. Many Thai comments repeat one painful line: "We wasted 20 to 30 years fighting for power." This is not emotional venting. It is late recognition that geopolitical time waits for no one. While Thailand remained trapped in coups and compromises, Vietnam pursued stability, gradual reform, and reputation building. What hurts most is not Vietnam's speed, but its direction. The world now prioritizes predictability, reliability, and execution capacity over pure GDP growth. A poorer but stable country is often preferred over a wealthier but risky one. Thailand has good infrastructure and tourism, but is widely criticized by its own citizens as a modern feudal bureaucracy, with red tape, unofficial fees, and entrenched interest groups. In such an environment, multinational firms cannot plan long-term, especially in sensitive sectors. Vietnam, despite limitations, shows decisive governance. Anti-corruption campaigns, controversial as they are, send a clear signal: rules matter. For investors, this matters more than flashy incentives. Thus emerges a structural fear: without deep reform, Thailand's megaprojects will become hollow shells, new playgrounds for corruption. Infrastructure only works with incredible institutions. More striking is how Thais now see Vietnam's future role. No longer a follower. No longer a low-cost rival. Vietnam is seen as a standard setter. Vietnamese goods dominate EU-Asian markets. Thai products shrink. This reflects years of agreements, compliance, and reputation. Europe does not upgrade partnerships casually. It bets on long-term alignment. And once Europe bets, others follow. That momentum is what truly terrifies Thai observers. Once capital and technology gain momentum, reversing them is extremely difficult. Thailand now competes not only with Vietnam, but with its own image of instability. At a deeper level, this reaction is a warning for Southeast Asia. No country can live on past glory. Geography, early development, and tourism can fade without institutional reform. Vietnam is increasingly seen as a country that seized historical timing. Thailand is seen as paying the price of stagnation. Thus, the EU-Vietnam upgrade is not just diplomacy. It marks a re-ranking within ASEAN. Leadership is no longer automatic. Thai anxiety is not emotional. It is survival instinct. If change does not happen, online fear will become political reality. This is why a single diplomatic move caused such upheaval. It signals a deeper regional shift, where countries are judged by credibility, execution, and vision. Vietnam does not proclaim itself a center. It does not crown itself a leader. But through consistency, stability, and balanced diplomacy, it is becoming the chosen partner. And in today's world, being chosen matters more than asking to be recognized. That is the true source of Thailand's shock. Not Vietnam's wealth. Not its population. But its alignment with global rhythms. Meanwhile, Thailand remains stuck in internal loops. In a fragmented era, major powers seek the least risky partners. Vietnam fits that profile. Thailand increasingly does not. Europe chose Vietnam not out of affection, but necessity, forced by US pressure, China rivalry, energy crises, and fragile supply chains. From minerals to chips to green logistics, Vietnam is becoming a hub of strategic trust. Only stable, disciplined, capable states earn that role. Ultimately, this is not Vietnam versus Thailand. It is model versus model. Stability versus fragmentation. Execution versus paralysis. The world votes not with words, but with capital and technology. Thai frustration is not hostility toward Vietnam. It is disappointment in themselves. A fear of being left behind. For Vietnam, this is also a reminder. Being chosen is not permanent. Strategic status is responsibility. The world expects continued reform, discipline, and governance. Any misstep can erode this position. But for now, Vietnam has entered a new international phase. A balancing power in global competition. Admired. Watched. Respected. The question is, can Vietnam sustain this rhythm for 20 more years? Can Thailand reform deeply? Will ASEAN witness further role reversals? No one knows. But one truth is clear. The board has changed. Those who refuse to adapt will lose their place. What do you think? Is this a historic turning point, or a temporary advantage? Share your view in the comments. Your perspectives make this discussion meaningful. Thank you for watching. See you in the next analysis.